Today, I want to talk to you about something, and I mean that quite literally, a thing. Une chose in French, una cosa in Spanish, and so on and so forth throughout the Romance languages. You see, in my youthful naivete, I used to believe that the most interesting things in the world were cognates, until I grew older and hopefully wiser and realized that the most interesting things are actually nearcognates. And what I mean by that are cases in which two different sets of words, completely etymologically unrelated, follow almost an identical semantic history in their respective languages. And this is actually the case with thing and cosa. Okay, if we try to translate cosa in Spanish in a dictionary, the output will usually be thing, right? Now, the interesting thing is, if you pardon the pun, if we go back in time to, for want of a better term, more ancient versions of these modern languages, we find that the ancestral forms of thing and cosa, or whatever the other Romance equivalent might be, had exactly the same meanings, despite coming from two completely different cultures. So in AngloSaxon, the thing, which was written in medieval script with this symbol, the thorn, referred to a legal case, or rather or the group deciding the legal case, right? So, for example, the thing would gather to decide a particular case, or a community would come together to decide the thing. And in fact, this remains in Iceland, as far as I understand. I think the Icelandic, it's actually an Icelandic institution still, the Althing, which is a legal institution, right? Latin, of course, had a similar case. That's where we get the word case from. The Latin causa was a legal topic to be decided. Okay? Now, what's particularly interesting about this is that there's no evidence that either of these languages had any contact, had any mutual influence that determined the course of these different words. But by pure convergence, thing in English expanded from its initial narrow semantic field, referring only to a legal case, to refer to any object in particular, any object of particular salience or relevance at any given time. And the same thing happened with causa in Latin, which became cosa in Spanish, une chose or chose in French, una cosa in Italian, coisa in Portuguese. And I'm sure in many of the other Romance languages that I actually know very little about, it's a similar case. So this is particularly interesting. If you know of any other cases of parallel semantic development like this, I'd really be fascinated to hear about them. This is also particularly interesting in the Roman case because Latin already had a word for thing. That was rem in its accusative. That seems to also be why we write emails. When we write the subjects for our emails, we put re. That re might not refer to regarding. It might actually be shorthand for re, of or having to do with the thing at hand. Anyway, please comment any other parallel semantic developments you know of, and I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.